Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the 13th Fleet After Action Report. We are really happy to have you with us. Also, very happy to have you with us is Admiral Tater's Ship Shop. If you are looking for the best in tabletop wargame accessories, this is the place to go. We had a recent comment on one of our videos mentioning that they really loved the templates that we were using in our Leviathan games. If you want to know where to get them, this is where you get them. So reach out to Admiral Tater and find out how you can get a hold of some of those awesome accessories there. Want to thank you for joining the show tonight. Right now we are short one member of the team. Hopefully he will be on by the end of the show. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let you know who we do have with us. I have done this again, and so we are just going to go ahead and refresh people on what battle line is that we are discussing tonight, because your audio was not going.
My audio wasn't?
None of you. Mine was. Yours
That
wasn't.
was. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Okay. Recap.
Oh no.
Hey, everybody.
Recap.
Hello.
Oh jeez. Well, nobody gets to know that I was gone. That's fine.
That gives us a fresh starting point when I do the edit later. Thank you for the heads up, by the way. That was one of our viewers that let me know.
Okay. All right, wind it back. What did you guys talk about at the start?
Let's just go ahead and tell everybody about the events that are going on, because nobody got to hear about those.
Okay. All right. Thinking back, SensiCon is the February 27th to March 1st, Cincinnati. They're going to have Leviathan's events. It's going to be great. A lot of the good Cincinnati boys will be there playing Leviathans. I'm going to try to make it up. We in Lexington, at Chaotic Good, 10 a.m., February 7th, Saturday, we're going to be having Leviathan's Play Day. Not a structured tournament. Just come, hang out, throw some dice, and if you don't know how to play the game, come on down. We'll teach you how to play the game. All factions should be present. And then those are the events. And then Adepticon's coming. If you're at Adepticon, Catalyst Game Labs has got Leviathan's events there. I think they're probably pretty full at this point. However, there'll definitely be open play going on.
I know yesterday when I signed up for the one event that I got in on, it was like the last spot available. So,
yeah. All right. And you guys, are we skipping talking about your guys'
We'll
game?
skip talking about the game because they heard my side of it anyway.
I left a comment on the video correcting myself, so it's there if you want to go check it
out. Great. Chris, did we ever correct how I incorrectly said fighters had to be facing a fighter to shoot at it on that one video?
I don't think we did.
Probably not. We gotta fix it. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, I don't know why I said that.
We are still learning rules here, and it would make sense that a fighter could only shoot at something that's in front of it, based on every other war game that we have played. But
here's the problem: they have to face a ship they're attacking, but they don't have to face a fighter or torpedo they're attacking. They just have to be adjacent to a fighter or a torpedo, but it has to be facing a ship that's attacking, and that's where I conflated these in my head and turned it into everything has to be facing what you're doing. Okay. Anyways, today's show is about Battle Line. Battle Line is a type of fleet build in Leviathans that we call, it's like balanced. Like a balanced fleet. You got your classic battleship and then a mix of cruisers and destroyers. Leaving out specifically the battle cruiser because we believe the battle cruiser either fits in a big heavy, where it's combined with a battleship, or it's combined with, 4+ ships, creating the, multiple small units MSU build, where it's like more of a swarm fleet. But Battle Line is like, we're going to call it Leviathan's traditional fleet build, kind of like the core sets that come with the factions, where it's a battleship, cruiser, 2 destroyers, or like a battleship, 2 cruisers, destroyer, depending on how the points flesh out. Because a lot of the factions have ships that are really, really cheap and then really, really expensive, just based on the loadouts of what's going on with guns, speed, etc. So, and we were going to talk about, I guess, how to build those and the drawbacks and pros to them for some of the factions. I think the first thing I'll say is if you're building a battle line fleet, you don't have a lot of points left over for squadrons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It
like
is a
very
tight build, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think we've been playing. I think squadrons are important in this game.
Yeah.
I think you have to have. They are important to be used if you're in a torpedo heavy meta. Bringing squadrons negates the problems with torpedoes because they can shoot them down quite easily.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
because when they fight
especially your fighters
torpedoes,
and interceptors.
right? Because you get the anti-air die from your fighter plus the D red, and you
two
only
red?
have to. I think it's just 1 D red, but all you got to do is get an 8 to shoot down a torpedo, which is very doable.
Yeah, 2D red plus the AA.
Is it
But you have to
2D
get
red?
Yeah, you have to get a 15.
15. What's the 8? What am I thinking of 8 for?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, so
What
your
is
2D
that?
red,
That is-
you're looking at averaging around 11, and then you throw your anti-air on there. So your generally speaking, your fighters, anything that has going to have a D blue, D red, D yellow, 50% of the time or more are going to knock out a torpedo. Your things like spotters, things that have the green die, are, if you have it, take the shot. It doesn't cost you anything to shoot at torpedoes.
There's a crazy good chance you're gonna get it with a spotter too.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, your average on 2D red and D green is like 14. So I mean, it's right at 50% basically.
Right. And then so you have that. So you have the lighter squadron build, unless you go super cheap on your ships, which is risky. Because as we know, the cheaper to ship, the less work it does, the less structural integrity it has. Usually, you're going to be facing some issues. And then you also want to build in a little bit of a bid under 1,000 points to control whether you want to be first or second player.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, and then, do we want to go by faction, perhaps?
We can take a look at factions. I was actually trying to take a look to see how I might go about build, because I haven't built a battle line fleet for the British.
Oh, for British, yeah, we can do that.
But you guys can look.
Example.
I mean, no, I was going to say you guys start with what you've already got, and I'm taking a look at how I might do it for the British, and then you can critique me as we go through.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I think we were discussing this before we discovered our audio wasn't working. That like for Germany, for example, I think the most common. I think right now the only real option for Germany via points is the Kaiser, specifically due to the fact that it is surrounded in turret, saturated, heavy guns, 38 SI with its structural integrity, uncommon slots, hard burn Admiral that makes it 5 movement points, and now it can turn because it had a 3 hex before turn rating. And then you just surround that with ships of your choice. The Wolf is a screener ship, and so if you start losing a portion of the Kaiser, you just slap the Wolf in front of it. It's 140 points. If it dies, big whoop. The Kaiser's going to destroy whatever's shooting at it. Also, the Grief cruisers, Type 2 ships, are amazing. Some of them, like the Grief title itself, also has turrets on its side. So the Kaiser and Grief fleets, combined with like a Wolf and maybe the Hound, and like really light squadron coverage, now can fly forward, and if a ship lands in front of it, can get up to upwards of 7-8 guns on target just flying straight forward, and that's a solid build. You're going to be able to play the skirmish scenario. You can just cruise right through and break through. You can play tug of war and just park the Kaiser on the neutral ship and just have them come towards you, and then cover it with long range fire from like the Grief. And then we've been discussing invasion a lot lately. I feel like we have to do a show on just discussing each of the
Yeah, we may
scenarios.
have
Basically,
to.
invasion is
Invasion's fun. I liked Invasion.
yeah.
Or no, no,
With the
I'm sorry.
transport
I'm
ships.
thinking. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Reinforcements. That is what we
Yeah,
played.
we played
Oh
Reinforcements.
yeah.
And Reinforcements is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Uh, and then but if you didn't want to do that, take the destroyers. You could take the Kaiser, 2 Grief cruisers, and then a heavy fighter load to go with them, or 2 Grief cruisers, and you're gonna have to go cheaper on one of them, and you're gonna lose the side turrets probably, but then you'll get to keep your screener destroyers, and then that's for Germany. It's a solid build. I'd say it's easy to fly, and it's satisfying to throw dice with it because you're like guaranteed a lot of hits. Now, I will say,
as I'm putting this
what
together, my question would really be: is a battle line fleet as concerned about having bid as other fleets are?
it depends. It depends. I was about to say this. If you're flying a Kaiser fleet, you want to bid like 30 points probably to control maps and cloud selection so that you can remove the clouds and pick like narrow or open because you have the advantage in that situation because you don't care about hiding behind clouds if you have a couple of griefs in the Kaiser. You just don't care, and you don't want the enemy to hide behind clouds because if you're facing something like the Italians, and as soon as you got them in your sights, you just start hammering away, and they have such low armor slots that you can just crush right
Rip
through
them
it,
apart.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I have
So
a
I would
rules
say,
question for you here.
okay,
As I'm looking over what I was putting together here, steering gear. Is that reflected on the core statistics card, or is that something you have to take into account?
You have to add it because it can be destroyed.
Okay, so if I have a enter before turn of 4, but I've got 2 steering gear on each side of the ship, then
You're
I could
2.
do a 2. Okay,
Yep.
that's right. And as
I
you
am
lose them,
I am
you
much
lose your
happier with British battleships now.
That's exactly why
yes,
that's exactly why my Siberia was so maneuverable in our game. It's because I have double steering gears on both my sides.
yes,
Oh,
and it's why uh, it, for like Russia and Britain and Italy and everyone else, they can pick the more obstructed maps because they can fly around and
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, and Italians have the improved steering gear. It's even better.
yeah.
Yeah, they can like side slip at like speed 0,
Yeah.
just
And it's
like move across the map sideways.
the improved steering gear is what gives them the minus 0.5 ship type, right?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
think
and it
so.
like
Yeah.
minuses per improved or
So
something.
so good. It's so cool. All the unique stuff. I like all the uncommon stuff. They all feel really powerful in like subtle ways that you're kind of like that's too good, but then it works with the faction.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of the interesting things about the game in and of itself is just because, with most games, you're trying to figure out what bonus stuff you're going to give it, what modifications you're going to put on these ships. Whereas this, you get the ship as it is, and you have to choose the right ship for the role that you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. And then like build your plan around that
Yeah.
Oh,
with your
interesting.
bid.
Improved steering gear only gives you the minus 0.5 as long as all of them are not destroyed.
Oh,
So
I like that.
if you knock out one side, it loses that 0.5.
That's a good balance, actually.
Yeah.
If only Italy had more armor.
Yeah, yeah. My precision crews, see, I know exactly what I'm doing now. Uh,
Yeah, just take that out. And that's important. I guess we should say this. I keep forgetting like the game's so new. If like reducing your type is really important in Leviathans because the higher the type, like your battleships are type 4, they have to be moved on the game map before a type 3 or 2. So
Yeah.
if you can take a battleship and make it type 3.5, even if the enemy has initiative and you're technically supposed to move first because your battleship is type 3.5 and their battleship is type 4, they still have to move first, and you can see where their ship is going. Uh, so that's
it's a
really good
big,
for.
it's a big advantage.
It
Yeah.
is. So yeah, when we're talking about battle line for the British, I think the way that I would look at it would be the Leinster, which is a Connaught class, um, the Sydney, which is a Destrier class cruiser, the Beagle, which is kind of like has to be in every British fleet.
Beagle's amazing.
It's a
Beagle's
lot of
great.
guns on a tiny little ship.
Yeah, a lot of guns on a tiny little ship, and then the Belfast was the last slot that I put in there, along with, of course, I can't run a British fleet without running keel cracking.
And what is keel cracking, Chris?
Oh, keel cracking is instead of rolling 2 red for cracking the keel, you roll a red and a black.
That's really good. That's Chris used that against me, and I completely underestimated the math on how much that would impact because like he was rolling like a 10 on the black and just shred me.
Yeah.
But
And see, this build, still, I've got 20 points for either bid, or I can put a squad in there if I want to, which I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I'm as
I would keep the bid.
well, I was going to say I don't think I'm as concerned about the bid, but I think one of the issues that, well, first off, the turning was what had me kind of iffy on British battleships, but the other piece to it is that British battleships want to shoot out the front, not the broadside.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can use that to your advantage because like you're so slow. Speed 4, you have the range though. 15 hex is outranges most guns on most other fleets.
Well, I
And
mean, part of the
so
reason why you go with the Leinster, in my opinion, is you've got 3 guns with a 15 range, and they're all saturation guns.
Yep.
And they're on turrets, too.
They're on turrets, and so you can fly, and you've got steering gear with 4 and 4. So you're effectively speed 4 with the hex before 3. The steering gear also allows you to side slip.
Well, you've
Which is
got
when
2
you
steering gear on each side, so it's actually going down to 2.
it's one. You have one. Oh, I do. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not. They're not stacked next to each other.
No.
Yeah, so it goes down to 2. So you can actually side slip. So you can move forward 1 and then spend 2 points to just jut it, um, like make a lateral move and keep that turret online. Um, so instead of having to turn your full thing, because the bow is on all battleships, the bow is kind of easier to crack because you're not splitting fire between both like the fore and aft of your side. You don't want to present the bow like all game.
Yeah.
But because you're at that like range 15, you can kind of position yourself. This is also why I think second bidding for second with British is so important, because getting initiative on turn 2 means that your opponent has to move their battleship first.
Yeah.
And so you can measure exactly 15 hexes, put your bow right there, and you don't get any return fire, and you can hit them with 3 saturation turrets.
Yes.
And
on the Connaught,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I
then
feel
next
like
turn,
if you're
you can
building
yeah.
if you're building battle line, you're not building Leviathan, because Leviathan.
Well,
Okay,
I'll say this.
the Leviathan.
Yeah,
I think the
Leviathan doesn't
Leviathan
move
class,
really well.
I don't think you ever take Leviathan over Connaught.
Yeah,
I don't think it's ever worth the lesser points. Even though the game's called Leviathan, the Connaught is the true British battleship. superior.
Yeah,
I'll
just
say
getting
this.
those numbers.
Also, when putting together your British battle line, and quick shout out, Scott Bomer, Leviathan Fleet Builder. Google
Yes.
that. That's where we're like looking at our cards right now. Thank you
Yep.
again to Scott. Uh, you need to pay attention to your sniper guns,
And I've just put
right?
that link in the chat. So,
Okay, perfect. Thank you. The sniper. So you don't want to mismatch your fleet, right? To where half your fleet is really bad at close range and half your fleet's really good at close range. Because typically in Leviathans, the closer you get, the better your guns get. But on some of these British ships with sniper turrets, uh, the closer you get, the worse the guns get. So you got to be careful when you're putting the ships together that that stuff lines up. And then along with that is speed, and how all your ships can match speed to get around. There's some awkwardly slow cruisers. I think maybe I'm just like disgruntled from looking at some of the German ones, but some of the German cruisers are like as slow as a battleship. Uh, I think like the Brandenburg is like speed 5, which is crazy slow
Wow.
in this game for a Type 2 ship. Uh, I think 7 and above is the sweet spot, but man, 5 is for a Type 2 ship is just, you know, coasting along
That's
with
crazy.
like
I can't.
like a rowboat.
I kind of underestimated how fast Russian ships are. Um, they're kind of surprisingly tanky, but they're very maneuverable. Not looking at like Germans and British and being like, oh, you're speed 7, you're speed 5. It's like, oh, okay, my cruiser's speed 10. I'm just gonna fly over here now.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but I think with speed is built into the factions, right? The British want to stay at long range, so they don't need to be faster. The Germans have the armor, so they don't need to be maneuverable. Um, that being said, it just doesn't matter if your opponent can outflank you and take out your engines, they will just rip you apart. It doesn't
yeah.
matter how tanky you are. If you can't maneuver at all, you just have to be more judicious with when you do maneuver. It's just like flying, and I keep bringing up Armada because it's my most experienced game, but it's like flying Star Destroyers in Armada without using Jar Jarrod. You have to know how to fly them, otherwise you're never gonna get your shot off. And so it becomes important for you to position your ship just perfectly, which I think makes it harder to fly when you're learning the game and when you're kind of newer to the way the back and forth goes. I think Chris, if you want to, I think if you build a battle line British fleet, I think you should fly it 3 or 4 times and really get a feel for what it should be doing. Um, because I think with that, I really do think if with a little bit of bid, picking second player, getting initiative on turn 2 with that 15
Yeah.
range triple saturation gun, and then next turn break, just move and turn. All you need is one turn, and you can completely get your bow out, and you won't get shot and lose all your turret guns, and then those turrets can still swing over and supply that saturation fire.
Yeah.
Um,
and no clouds, unless
yeah,
you're
you do
playing
not want
like
clouds. Yeah.
uh, invasion specifically, to where you need to protect transports.
Yep.
So, what does battle line look like for you, Nick?
So for Russia, I've been theory crafting a lot with Russian battle line, because their ships look very different than like Italians or British. We are a little undergunned, but we make up for it with the crew. And so the precision crew, and then just having general higher dice on their crew. Um, and what I mean by that is that no Russian ship has green crew. They're all at minimum blue, and there are a couple of ships. I'm going to find an example. I think the Alexander's one. Alexander has yellow crew in its side. So on top of their yeah,
Yellow
on
yellow
top of their
crew,
guns, they throw a yellow crew dice. Now,
yellow.
granted, the guns on the sides are the 75 mil, 4.8 range. They're not great, but they're bracketing, and you're throwing that yellow in there. So like Whereas your gun is a yellow with a green crew, mine's like a green with a yellow crew. So the math works out about the same. Um, but Russia is their ships are a little tanky. They're not as hard to crack as the Germans, but they're tankier than it seems like the French or the Italians definitely.
Well,
Everybody's
everybody's
tankier than
tankier than
Italians,
the
so it's not
Italians.
even yeah. You really don't even need to say that. Um, but a lot of our armor values are like in the 15-19 range,
A
especially on the
Pepsi
bigger ships.
can is tankier than the Italians.
Um,
Aluminum.
yeah, they're really yeah no they're really. Um, so like the Russian unique crews are the precision crew and the repair crew. So in addition to having the better like dice on your shots, you also have unique abilities to use. So the precision crew lets you do +1 or -1 to your slot die. As we learned in the game, I was running the Siberia battleship, which has 3 precision crew in the front that lets you do +3, -3 to slot die. We did play it incorrectly. It does only apply to one of the saturation slot dice. I can't do it split it to both. But it gives you a lot of control over what you're punching out. With that being said, because the ships tend to be undergunned, they have more slots. If you look at a British, ship, you have like out of your like 36 slots, you have like 14 of them are guns. You know, on a Russian ship, only like 4 of them are guns. But we have extra crew, we have redundant crew, we have a lot of armor, steering gears. So things like the Russian ships are maneuverable, and then their guns are precise. So I don't need 3 saturation guns because my 1 saturation gun is going to be able to pick both of your guns or your crew slot and knock it out and cripple your ship on the first volley. And so that's why I was able to fly it that way when you flew against me last week, um, barring some things that we did incorrectly. Our first exchange with my 2 saturation guns with the precision crews were just knocking out your bow guns. Every single bow gun got knocked out on
Yeah.
turn 1, which means that I don't really worry too much about engaging you now because you're the return fire. You're spending your time repairing those guns while I'm going to continue to shoot you. Um, because the ships are tankier and you have more the repair crews especially that you're allowed to pool your repair dice. Uh, when you do lose one of your guns, it's a big deal, but you can get it back really quickly. Primarily because the repair crew special ability lets you repair on the same turn it's destroyed instead of waiting a full turn. And so, like, I was flying the Siberia, it has yellow repair crews on its sides. If you knocked out my turret gun in the front, I can immediately go, okay, I'm going to pull both my repair crew, send them to the front, and I'm going to roll 2D red and 2D yellow to get my 18.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And on the same turn you destroy it. And then so I go, oh, I rolled it, boom, I repair it, it's back online. You don't even get a chance to like it doesn't even miss a beat. You don't even get a chance to like take advantage of knocking my gun out. I just erase your damage. And so Russia is able to outlast a lot, similar to the Germans. The Germans are just like, I have 22 armor in the side. You're just not cracking it. Whereas the Russians say, you can crack it, but we're here with the duct tape, and it's going to be back online. I did confirm today in the Discord, the Leviathan's Discord. Interesting. A lot of us, me included, were noticing that it says the 2 hexes, the little snippet with the 2 hexes and repair crew, a lot of us took to mean the ship within 2 hexes of you, you can send a repair crew to repair it. But the actual wording is if a friendly ship that has 2 hexes adjacent to you, you can repair it. So instead of being within 2 hexes, you actually have to have 2 hexes adjacent, and your repair crew is basically, I guess, like zip line down and repair the other ship.
That makes so much more sense, though.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so like you can't be 2 hexes away. You got to be 1 hex away with 2 hexes touching each other.
Touching, right? So that definitely makes the Anastasia, my destroyer, is already basically like, yeah, you're gonna screen with this because it's got 1 gun on it, it's got speed 12, and it has 2 yellow repair crews on each of its sides. And so what you do with it is you fly it with battleship, and you put it right in the front, and you defensive screen, and then you just repair crew onto your battleship if you have to. Or you put it behind it, repair your battleship. If your battleship gets too hurt, you fly around and screen. Um, so a lot of Russian fleets seem to be around that core concept of flying um, a very durable attrition fleet. We don't have as many guns, but we will make use of the guns we do have and our maneuverability and our durability. So, uh, the fleet I flew, I don't know how to fly it exactly like that one, but I was flying the Siberia. I liked it. I'm gonna give it another shot because it has just the two guns on it, but it the precision crews make it work. I was flying the Bayan Kiev cruiser, um, which had the double torpedoes in the sides, which was fine. But again, if you're not flying like a lot of torpedoes or like you're making a core implement, it's not like I didn't bring it because I was just trying it because I had been flying the Pilata a lot. I wanted to try a different cruiser. And then the Tritea, which is the other Pilata one, just not as good as the Pilata, but it was cool. It was fine. Um, I definitely feel like Russians can do a lot with battleship, cruiser, destroyer, destroyer, because you can take something like the Nadezhda, which has the double torpedoes as a destroyer, super cheap. It's like the 140 points. You can do screening with it and then shoot your torpedoes out. The Pilata cruiser, you can take the Admiral that gives precision on all of its guns. So it has 4 turrets that can just shoot out the sides because they're all in the front and the rear. So you broadside it so that you don't lose any guns on a return fire, and you have 4 guns with precision crews that are just shooting out. And
Makes
then
me
you have your
sad. I
battleship.
don't have anything that's as cheap as 140 points.
uh, so you have your Pilata cruiser with your Admiral that makes it great. A battleship like the Siberia or something that's just going to be hard to kill. And then you have the Anastasia doing its support repair crews, and something like the Nadezhda that is just doing additional like support role. Um, I like planes. I don't know that faction, any particular faction, does better with planes because it doesn't seem to be a lot of like interaction with any of the factions specifically. Every plane kind of just does the same thing, regardless of faction.
There
So
are,
I like.
I feel like there are some admiral abilities that can change that.
For who?
I'm not
I,
aware of any.
I don't remember. Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing, but I felt like let's see.
I feel like the weakest battle line faction is actually France. We've been discussing a lot about France uh, internally in our group. Uh, we all joke about how Italy's ships like don't survive shots. However, Italy's ships are all they like. Italy has some good ships as far as the improved steering gear, the guns.
The
Torpedoes are
torpedo
not
control.
amazing. However,
Yeah.
you can shoot so many torpedoes with Italy to do area denial, which is really important.
Hmm.
And they're just like they could just they're so good at those two things, moving and shooting. But France, uh, we've been it's what are we calling the jack of all trades faction? Like they're
Yeah.
not specialized in anything. And one really annoying part about their faction is so they have torpedoes, but not Italian torpedoes. All their admirals from the fleet box are based on uh, torpedoes. I think there's one that is like you can add a blue die to one unbracketed or like unsaturated shot per turn or something, which
Can you
is
rotate?
not phenomenal. And it's
You
30 points too.
They can rotate their torpedoes. That's neat, but
Yeah,
like
it's okay, but however, like as we've learned, if you pick ships that specialize in torpedoes, it's difficult to win games because if you have a lot of torpedoes, you're losing guns, uh, and there's just
do
no
we?
way to.
I haven't been following the French, any of the FAC stuff for like France specifically. The torpedo cruise admiral. Are we looking for clarification on is that supposed to affect torpedoes?
Read it to me.
Torpedo Cruise, 30 points. Once per turn, add 1 deep blue to 1 non-saturation fire gun shot.
Oh yeah, like why is it not related to torpedoes?
Yeah. Is it
I don't know.
are torpedoes meant to be like a gun?
I don't think so.
I don't think the
I
rule
feel
never,
like
yeah.
Occam's razor here. Occam's razor. I feel like they just were coming up with torpedo themed names for the French admirals. I think that's really what happened. And they were like, well, we need to make one that's not about torpedoes. Right? It's crazy because all of them are just like weirdly not very useful.
Yeah. Very interesting.
But all the other factions have like a mixed variety of admirals that do different things. It's really odd.
Yeah, I kind of hate the 10-point and the 50-point French admirals though.
The 50.1 is worthless.
Like the first destroyed engine slot does not reduce your MP. I mean, by the time you're getting your engine shot out, like you're in trouble. Like
Yes.
I don't want my
I
50
wanted to
point.
see.
Like,
You guys are talking about like flanking a ship or whatever to take out engines. If you have flanked your opponent and are taking engine slots out, that game's probably over. Or they have
Yeah.
turned their ship and have presented their aft or their stern to you.
But there is a reason to do that. There is a valid reason to do that.
There can be, yeah.
It almost saved me in my game against Nick.
Yeah, your ship was on fire. But yeah, as far as French battle line goes, their cruisers, well, especially destroyers, are just their destroyers are just not okay. They have like the armor of Italians basically, and it's just too easy to lose them. Trying to look at here,
looking at a couple of them now, like 11 to 15 with no armor on the side.
We ought to have.
Oh my god!
We ought to have Aaron on here sometime to talk about the French.
To give us some
he's pretty down. Now I will say, as far as the French go, the Jean Bart is great. 400-point turreted saturation based guns.
Oh, those
super
guns,
good.
Yeah.
I think
that looks for 400 points. That looks pretty good.
The course Facon is pretty good. It's got 2 front mounted saturation guns on a cruiser. It's got okay armor. This game is dangerous with armor. If somebody can shoot at you and roll a 12 or 11 and it can hit one of your armor areas, you're in big trouble. Because they're going to get a hit every time they roll.
Yeah.
Unless Chris is rolling. Then you're fine.
But you're fine. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We're all...
Yeah. But I'm looking at
I was channeling my inner stormtrooper.
Yeah. If you look at the Grenouille, I don't know. I don't speak French. I'm so sorry. Whatever. The front of this ship, I mean, this is just an atrocity. It's 9, 9, 10, and 9. It has 2 miss slots, which are completely useless because you're probably going to get shot by either bracketed fire or a saturation gun, which can't hit miss slots. It has 19 SI.
I mean, it's not terrible for a destroyer, but
oh man,
19.
Listen, this thing's getting absolutely destroyed.
We're not all German destroyers here, okay?
So
9.
So let's throw out there. What factions? What are the 3 best factions for Battle Line?
Oh, Germany, Britain,
Germans,
Russia.
Yeah, I think the 3 best factions right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Battle Line is it's hard to really say it like an archetype because it really is just kind of the core fleet. You can modify it, right? Like we have like taking battle cruiser with more cruisers and destroyers, but like if you're taking a battleship, unless you're taking a battleship battle cruiser, you're running some variation of Battle Line.
Yeah, it's just the traditional makeup of what's going on, right? Because it uses the common ship types. Everyone's got a lot of each of these. Everyone's got a lot of battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. Everyone's got a very few amount of battle cruisers. I I guess also we should say the reason Battle Line is good is because it gives you a solid back and forth of maneuvering your ships, because it goes Type 4, and then you have Type 2s and Type 1s. So if you're playing an opponent that's big heavy, they got to move before you do. If you're playing another balanced fleet, uh, it's a lot of back and forth. You move your ships, I move my ships, you move your ships, I move my ships. And if you're playing MSU, because you have only one Type 4, you're not at a huge disadvantage of watching them get to move after you've moved all your ships. So it puts you in a good spot to activate.
Yeah. Yeah, and Battle Line again, just it lets you take the best ships of your faction. If you can distill down your best battleship, and then you just kind of build something around that, you're running like the best your faction can bring. I'm gonna try probably my next fleet. I'll try like doing a big heavy idea with Russia, battleship, battle cruiser. I worry a lot about the lack of firepower.
I did not
That's
enjoy
going
it,
to.
but that's.
Yeah, but
but I chose the wrong. Yeah, no. We well, there are a few factors in that. Yes, one dice were a major factor there. Two, I can admit stepping back that 2 out of the 3 of those ships should not have been on my build. I mean, the Medusa was the wrong battleship, and the Monitor should be burnt.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Monitor. Yeah, there might be something you can do with the Monitor. I think maybe in that specific list, it just didn't have a role.
I'm not convinced there's anything to do with the Monitor.
I think I can't remember where I saw this. I think it was in Discord. At some point, the Monitor's artillery gun was saturated. And which
that would make a difference.
Interesting. That makes it interesting to me because now you can like saturate artillery fire. I guess they took that off as an ability because right now the G class British ship is a no-go. Is a no-go. Don't take that ship until they do either make it like
I didn't even points. Catch that. The monitor the Monitor's gun is an artillery gun.
It's the only artillery gun in the game. The only one.
Yeah.
Now that raises the question: what exactly is an artillery gun? Yeah, what does it do?
You ignore line of sight. You get to go. You get to shoot over, like mountains.
Like it goes over terrain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what you do with it: is you park it behind a mountain and just full stop.
Well, it's not going to move.
In the very niche situation where you have your Monitor in your fleet and the enemy is defensive screening, you can shoot over the defensive screen.
It ignores clouds, mountains, and both defensive and offensive screening.
Yeah, it's kind of like it just because it shoots over. I don't know. It's
okay.
So you can. That's interesting.
So,
yeah. But again, the gun is really weak, so it can't hit anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah.
Sticking with Battle Line, is there a faction that you guys think should not play Battle Line?
France.
Well, I was gonna say there's an argument for Italians not doing Battle Line, but I think that's just largely because, and I think Ruben's experimenting with Italians still. I just don't know that their battleships are worth the points if they're just not durable enough to go toe to toe with other battleships. The reason you bring a battleship is to bully your opponent's smaller ships or to take the shots from your opponent's battleship. And the Italian battleship's not designed to really take shots. It's designed to be the tankiest Italian ship.
Yeah, but they have to. They have to still bring it. It's not optional.
Yeah.
Because you can't just bring battle cruisers. You're gonna die. Because at least the Italian battleship can take 2 turns of shots
instead of one. Yeah, I'm just be curious. I'm curious to see, because like looking at the Sardinia battle cruiser, I mean 4 torpedoes in your side. is pretty wild. Now, I understand why that they made Italians have 12 range torpedoes when most other factions have 15, because you're throwing so many of them. Um,
Yeah.
but like taking away that 3 hexes of range means that Italians have to close that distance and they don't want to. Um, so I understand the like balance philosophy of that, but like, okay, cool, get into my 13 hex range. That's fine with me. I'll take a torpedo or two because my double saturation guns are going to knock your ship out.
I'm just going to shoot
Yeah.
you from where you can't shoot torpedoes.
Yeah.
Man,
Um,
Italians have to be second player. It's not even optional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
they have to be second player. They
I
have
think,
to
yeah,
control clouds. They have to control the
yeah.
map.
And that's the biggest thing too. I think Italians are one of the few factions that really love clouds, um, because you know they don't affect torpedoes, so you just fill up the middle as much as you can with those big clouds and just fire torpedoes through it. And maybe that's how you close your distance and get your 12 hex range torpedoes on target.
Well, with that, we have run out of time for this evening. So I want to thank you guys for joining in. We'll try to figure out who's going to be playing on stream on Thursday, but we will have a game on live on Thursday. So I hope you guys will join us for that. With that, good night, Nick.
Good night, Chris. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Garrett.
See you guys. Thanks.
All right, and with that, thank you again for joining the show. We had a really good time tonight outside of the audio issues. We will, on replay, have most of that first part of the show edited out, so apologies for that, but if you catch the replay, you won't catch all that. So thank you for joining us this evening, and join us on Thursday for another edition of our live game stream. Have a good night.